Hi everyone! Welcome to the Crafty Pixie channel where we do sewing and craft projects. I'm Bee. Whether you are new or old here, thank you so much for stopping by. It really means a lot. In today's video, we are making this cute seatbelt pillow. Yep, I have some family members who are going on a road trip in a few days, and one of them just has a really sore neck a lot when she travels, so I made her a little pillow. It's got the little Velcro, so it'll actually attach to the seatbelt comfortably and everything. And there's a little pocket here. You can stick your phone, you can stick some snacks, anything like that. It's made with flannel. You can also use fleece if you want to, or quilt cotton. And then you've got the quilt cotton pocket and straps with the Velcro that you can sew on. It's beginner friendly. It's super fun. I found it on Pinterest from a website called sewforhome.com. Super cute. I'll have a link in the description box below. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button down below along with the notification bell so you know when I upload every Wednesday at 9:15 a.m. Give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment as well. Without further ado, let's get to materials and get started. All right, for this project, you're gonna need a few items. Like I said, I'll have the description in the link, or the link in the description below. But you're going to need either flannel or fleece, whichever one you prefer. You're going to have to cut it to the length that the pattern says, along with rounding the edges. And then you're going to need 2 cotton pieces for your pocket. I'm sorry, 2 cotton pieces for your pocket. Then you're going to need 4 cotton pieces for your straps. You're going to need 4 cuts of Velcro. You're also going to need interfacing for the pocket and interfacing for the straps. You're also going to need pins, clips, scissors, and you are also going to need stuffing. I have fiberfill. You can use polyfill, same thing. So let's get started. All right, first things first is we're going to interface all of our cotton pieces. I'm using SF101 today. You've seen me do this a couple times, so you pretty much know. But we're going to take it and we're going to place it, the cotton fabric wrong side up, and then we're going to take the SF101 and either the bumpy or the shiny side is the wrong side. So then you're going to lay it down. You don't want to center it there. Okay. And then flip it and iron. You just have to hold it down for a few seconds. It's not too crazy long. Okay. Of course, you always want to make sure it actually stuck. We are good to go there. Strap pieces, you're going to take them, and with the shorter sides, you're going to fold them together. Make sure you line them up. And you're going to press them. Make sure you line them up correctly. And then you're going to open it back up And you're going to take your shorter piece of interfacing and you're going to butt it right up against that line that you just created with the crease. Center it as best you can. Fold it back over and press to seal it. Do the test. No, just a little bit more. All right, and you're going to do the same thing to the other three. All right, the next step is you're going to take the two pocket pieces and you're going to place them right sides together. Make sure that when you are doing this, if you have a directional print, it is facing so that this is the top and this is the bottom. And then you're going to take your ruler and a pin. And you're going to measure the correct amount up on the right side that the pattern states. And you're going to put a pin. Make sure that's right. Okay. And then you're going to take a marking pen or something to mark the fabric. And you're going to draw a line from the top left corner to your pin. Once you get it lined up, you're simply going to mark the fabric. Okay, I don't know how well you're going to see that. My pen, I think, is reaching its last days. Try the other side. All right, that's better. Okay. All right, and then with your scissors, you're going to cut along this line that you made. You're going to cut through both of the pieces of fabric. Okay. And then when you pull them apart, this is what you're left with. Okay. All right, and then your next step is you're going to take the two panels and you're going to place them right sides together. Okay. And what we're going to do, I'm going to veer a little bit different from the pattern. Okay, just because I don't have any bias tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew along the bottom, like it says. So your bottom straight edge, you're going to pin. And then I'm also going to pin along the top. Okay. And along the bottom, I'm going to sew. I'm going to backstitch really well at the beginning and at the end. and I'm going to sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then for the top, I'm going to back stitch really well at the beginning and at the end, and I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to take that over to this sewing machine. I'm going to do that and I will be right back. All right, next step after that is done, it's going to look like that or similar, or you can, of course, follow the instructions for the pattern. All right, and then what you're going to do is we're going to clip the corner a little bit so it evens out nicely. And then we're going to cut this seam allowance down. Okay. And then we're going to press it just so that the stitches adhere. And then we're going to pull it right side out. Now this next part, you're going to want to roll the seam as best you can. You want to make it as flat and even as possible on the top and the bottom. Now with the interfacing, it's going to be a little bulky, but it's okay. All right, once that's done, we're going to press it. All right, so that it's nice and even like that. And then we're going to take it over to the sewing machine. And then we're going to top stitch right along the top here, just so that it stays together and looks nice and professional. All right, so I'm going to go do that and I will be right back. All right, once that's done, I'm going to give it another press to make sure that the top stitch seams are good. All right, and you're going to set that aside. You're going to grab your 4 strap pieces along with your Velcro. Okay, this next step is a little tricky. I had to read it like a bunch of times, so I'm going to try to explain it as best I can for you. So basically, you're going to take the strap pieces and you're going to fold them right side out or right side up, laying them flat. Then what you're going to do is you're going to center the Velcro pieces to each one of them, okay? But here's the thing. You're going to place 2 of the same kind on one side. So you've got the bumpy side of the Velcro. So you're going to place 2 like so, right in the center, okay? Now remember, you're going to have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you're gonna wanna really make sure that we're not gonna bump into it at any point in time. Okay. All right, and once it's centered, okay. What you're gonna do is once they're centered, you know, you can definitely eyeball it, you can measure it out. It's like 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. So I'm centered. Okay, and then you're going to place a pin. Velcro is a little hard to get the pin through. Try that again. You really want to try to make this as even as possible. It'll make your job a whole lot easier. And then you're going to take the second one and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to line it up right below each other. Make sure the seam allowance is good. Okay, and then you're going to repeat that to the other ones. Now, here's the thing with the directional print. When we're attaching it, you've got to make sure that they go on top of each other when you overlap them. Okay, so you're going to have this piece that comes out this way, and then you're going to have this piece that comes out this way from the side of the pillow. Okay, so when you fold this side over, you need to have the directional print or the Velcro on this side so that when you fold this one over, they attach. I know it's very it's very confusing. It took me a minute to do that. So if you have a directional print, make sure that you are very careful when you are doing this. Okay? Okay, so I'm gonna go finish that and I will be right back. All right, now that all of those pieces are in place, you're gonna take it over to the sewing machine and you're going to literally sew all 4 sides of each one, backstitch really well at the beginning and at the end, and make sure you sew it open. Don't fold it and then sew it, because then you're gonna see it on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to the sewing machine, I'm gonna do that, and I will be right back. All right, once you are done with that, you've got your 4 pieces. Now, we're going to flip them rows or right sides together. Okay, make sure you line them up. And when you're going to sew 2 of the 3, so you're going to sew 1 short edge and 1 long edge. But you've got to be careful when you do this, because like I said, you're going to have one side facing up like this, and you're going to have one side facing up like this. Okay. On your pillow. because you're going to have one that folds like this, and then you're going to have one that folds like this. So be careful. Oh, I just stuck them together. So be careful when you're doing this, okay? So let's say that the bumpy side of the Velcro is going to be facing up when you are done with the pillow. So you're going to take it, you're going to fold it right sides together, okay? And you're going to sew along this outer edge and this long edge, okay? I'm going to place a few clips. Make sure you keep your edges aligned. And you're going to sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, and then the side with the fuzzies is going to be put so that when the pillow is right side out, it's going to be facing out like this. So with right sides together, you're going to pin, make sure it's even. You're going to pin the long side or the short side. And then you're going to pin along the long side. You're going to backstitch really well at the beginning and at the end. And you're only going to do the short side and the long side. On all 4 pieces, you're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to go do that and I will be right back. All right, now that you have done that, you can go ahead and cut or clip your edges, or corners, I should say, of the parts that you've sewn. And then we're going to take it and we're going to fold it right side out. Be careful. You know, you've got the interfacing there and you've got the Velcro. You don't want to break any of the stitches. You're going to pull it all the way through. And you're going to poke out those edges. All right, there you go. Just like that. If you need the help of a, you know, chopstick or anything like that, you go ahead and do that. Make sure you pull those seams out so that they're nice and flat. Okay, you're going to do that to all of them. Nice and flat. All right, and once you are done doing that to all of them, you're going to come through and you're going to press it. So the edges are nice and crisp. You're going to do that with all of them. Okay, just like that. Next we get to start assembling everything. So you're going to take one side of your, either your flannel or your fleece. You're going to need to grab your ruler again. And then you're going to take your ruler and you're going to go from the bottom raw edge. Hold on, let me. And you're going to measure up what it says in the pattern. All right, and then with the height from the bottom as listed in the pattern, and then you're going to place your pocket right side facing, shorter end to the right, longer end to the left, and you're going to align it on the sides, and then you're going to pin in place. And then you're going to take it to the sewing machine, and you're just going to want to baste at an eighth of an inch seam allowance right along the edge of the short side and the long side, just so that it stays in place when we're putting everything together. So I'm going to go to the machine, I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. All right, now that that's done, you're going to take your other remaining piece of, flannel or fleece, whichever one you're doing, and you're going to lay that right side up, and then you're going to take your tabs, and you're going to lay them in the correct overlap position, okay? And you're going to lay it and place it from the bottom and the top edge at the measurements that she says in the pattern. Okay, so your raw side, which you can clearly tell this is the raw side on this fabric, will be placed here. Align the edges, and then the raw side of, so this is the bumpy side of the Velcro, this is the fuzzy side. So you're going to lay that right on top, like so. So that they are aligned and flush with the sides. And you're going to clip or pin those into place. Okay, and then you're going to do the same to the top edge. Okay, and then you're going to take your raw edge right against the edge, raw edge right against the other edge, clip that into place. And then you're going to take this over to the sewing machine, and you're going to baste along the raw edges just so that there's no shifting when we're finishing everything. All right, I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. All right, we are almost done. Now it is time to assemble. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay one side right side up. We're going to lay the other one right side down on top of it. You're gonna have to keep adjusting it because you got lots of things basted together. And then we're literally going to line up the bottom and the top edges. And we're going to pin all the way around. Now what we're going to do is down at the bottom, so make sure that your pocket bottom is where it's supposed to be. Make sure you line that up really good. You're going to pin it in place, but you're going to leave a pretty good size opening. on the bottom so that we can turn it right side out and stuff it. All right, so you're gonna leave the good size opening, and you're literally going to pin along the entire outer edge, making sure everything lines up. All right, and then you're going to start at the beginning of your opening, backstitch really, really well at the beginning and at the end of your seam, and then you're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the entire thing. You're going to want to backstitch really well over your strap pieces and your pocket, just to make sure that, you know, nothing gets pulled out of place. So I'm going to go do that, and I will be right back. All right, now that that is done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just clip these curves a little bit right here, just so that they curve nicely when we turn everything right side out. You can do about 1/2 inch. You can eyeball it. Do not cut your stitches. Just don't do it. All right, so we're going to do that all the way around. On the top and bottom. It's really hard to see the black thread. You can also trim your seam allowance down if you want to. You don't have to. All right. And then you come over to your opening and very, very carefully pull everything right side out. Make sure that you are careful with everything. Make sure you don't break any of those stitches. Just work it through, take your time. Promise it works. See, with a little bit of patience, it all works out. You're going to want to curve the edge. Pull the rest out. All right, make sure you roll your seams out. we're gonna give it a press just so that all of the seams meld together. Alright, and then the next step is stuff it through your little hole. And then when you are done, fold it. Fold the raw edge in. And you can either top stitch to seal it, or you can blind stitch it or seam stitch it, whatever you would like to do to finish this. All right, I'm gonna go stuff it and seal it, and I will be right back. All right, voila, we are done. Isn't this cute? That's gonna be so comfortable. All right, not too difficult. There's a few pieces and a little bit of measuring, but other than that, we are good to go. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload. And leave a comment in the comment section down below and give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, see ya!